What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about Batman. If Warner Bros. Montreal is going to hide it, what the overall strategy for this game is. Now, before I get into that, I do want to just quickly promote my Twitter. I know I've been doing that often, but if you guys have not yet followed me, Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. Tend to give you guys updates on future videos, tend to interact with you guys. There are a lot of really nice people that I've come to know on Twitter. My DMs are always open, all that good stuff. Okay, so again, Podcast Now 15 on Twitter. The link for it is also in the description below. All right, I get that we're only, however close we are to DC Fandom. I'm kind of recording a couple of these in bulk, and then I'm kind of spreading them out over the coming weeks. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but obviously we're getting close to DC Fandom, and the question is, are they going to tease it? And I've talked about this before, right? I've talked about how really they should. There really should be teases of this game as we get closer. Now, so far, I'm recording this on August 11th, on the Tuesday. There's been nothing. There hasn't been any teases, obviously, but there also hasn't been any leaks. There's been nothing that's leaked out, which is good. I mean, that ultimately, look, if they want to keep this completely silent, and then, it just gets announced. And if they can do that without having anything leak, I mean, kudos to them, right? That's actually a pretty solid thing. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I really do think that they kind of put themselves in more and more danger as the next couple, days, as the next couple weeks go on. But now the thing is, and I've talked about this with the Suicide Squad game, what's the strategy? What is honestly the strategy? Well, here's the deal. If we don't get any teases at all from Batman, we can, I think, safely assume that the strategy, and again, I've said this before, I've kind of like mocked them, right, as like geniuses. The strategy seems to be, okay, Batman, the biggest thing, okay? Now, in the end of the day, Suicide Squad could end up being better. We don't know. Ultimately, we haven't seen either of them. We haven't played either of them. They're both, 6 to 12 months away. We still have a while to go. So we really can't make any guarantees. We can't really make any, that many assumptions either, right? But, Batman seems to be, as of right now, the biggest thing, okay? The Suicide Squad teaser was enormous, okay? But if they did a Batman one, I guarantee you it would be bigger. And maybe that's just because Batman has been more rumored. Maybe because he's more popular than the Suicide Squad combined. Maybe because that game is, people know that game would come out first. For whatever reason, that game is the bigger one, and I think they know that. I think they really do know that. So there we have Warner Bros. Montreal. There they are over on Twitter. They're continuing to post their job, listings for those that want to apply, which is fine. But it's getting very annoying. It's getting very just kind of like tone deaf. That like they're still doing that while DC Fandom is like 14, 13, 12 days away. You know what I mean? It's really actually kind of insane that they're still doing it. And so maybe the strategy is, and again, I think we can safely assume that the strategy would be hide it. Hide this game and have it be that big reveal, oh my God, we're going to catch people off guard with it. Now, in all honesty, that may actually work for some people. Firstly, again, we can't assume that everybody knows that this game is real, right? I've talked about that a lot of times. You can't assume that just a small fraction on YouTube. Now, I get it. It's not just me, so I'm not even talking about like just the people on my channel, but you look at Slickmuff, you look at Degenerate J, you look at all of them. They're just, one part of it. We're all just one part of it. And ultimately, I think also we kind of share some viewership, right? So ultimately, there are not that many people that know this game exists. Maybe, I don't know, if we want to say 1 million to be and that's I think a really big reach. And ultimately, this game is going to sell probably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million. Okay, it's going to sell a lot, right? So I would say the vast majority of people don't know this game exists. So you have that. You also have the people that think because of the Suicide Squad trailer or the teaser, or because of just them not saying anything about Batman, that they've maybe canceled it or something's gone wrong with it where it won't be a DC Fandom. So it's actually, their strategy of hiding this game is kind of working where people, I think, are less expecting it more and more. Now, I think there's two different camps. I think there's people like me that is like, okay, it's all just noise in the background, right? It's all just like white noise. I don't care about it. I know that it's going to be there. And I've stood true to that. Some people have just gotten more and more confident that's going to be there. I've seen people come back to this channel saying like, okay, we're ready to go. Like, I'm ready for it to be there. And then you also have people that have gone the negative way that have said, I don't know, like we haven't seen it. Suicide Squad gets announced first. Like, what's going on? Maybe it's not going to be there. And I think that doubt, I don't blame them. Firstly, I think that that's not the way to think. I think that it's absolutely going to be there. But again, you think for yourself. Don't let me, decide for you. But at the end of the day, that could be what they want. So that at DC Fandom, they say, okay, we didn't say anything because here it is. Here's the big reveal. You saw some teases of Injustice. You saw some teases of Suicide Squad. And if they do Monolith, you maybe have known that they're going to be here, so let's show you them. But Batman, we haven't really talked about that. Warner Bros. Montreal is still doing a job posting like in 2 days from now. They haven't said anything about being here, but they are here, and here it is. Again, remember, Patrick Redding from Warner Bros. Montreal is going to be there. I also saw somebody else told me that somebody else from Warner Bros. Montreal was spotted on that list. So 2 people from Warner Bros. Montreal. That's a pretty big deal. So I think, this is not a question of is it going to be there or is it not going to be there. It's absolutely going to be there. I know I made that Doomsday video. It's like a fun little side thing. My opinion has stood for a couple months now that it's going to be there. Remember, I even said like this game is going to get announced before the end of the summer. Now, I thought it would be part of Summer Games Fest. I didn't know that Summer Games Fest was pretty much just a host for everything that happens during the summer. Okay, so ultimately, I think I'm going to end up being correct on this one, right? But again, the topic of this one is, will there be teases or are they hiding it? I think as the days go on, as more and more days go on, it is going to seem more likely that they're just going to hide this thing. Especially, again, I think I've said this before, if they start doing more teases for Suicide Squad, if there's more pictures or posters of different Justice League members with the Suicide Squad like marker on them, if that keeps happening, then it's like, okay, well, you know what? Then they're gonna really push Suicide Squad. And again, you could think of, and I even do sometimes think of it as, that's kind of clever because again, people are looking one way. People are looking at Batman. Okay, flat out. People knew Rocksteady was going. People knew to expect Rocksteady, but people were looking at Batman. And then you have just this come literally out of nowhere, right? Last Friday morning. It's like nobody really saw this coming. Now, again, did we know Rocksteady was going? Yes. Do we know it was going to be a Suicide Squad game? Yes. So it wasn't a shocker. It wasn't like, holy God, they're working on something that I could never have predicted. You know what I mean? I should stop saying that because it's only a select group. Remember, there was a lot of people that were very confused. There was a lot of people that thought that they were working on the Batman game or that the Batman game was next. So, like, why is there a Suicide Squad? You know what I mean? I mean, just look around the internet. Not everybody is on the same page. Not everybody follows this channel. Not everybody follows a Batman channel in general, right? So you have that's the situation we're in. And they could see it and say, well, let's just keep doing. Suicide Squad, again, has lined itself up to do more teases. Like I said in a video that could hopefully already be up by the time I've made this one, right? The way that those posters are, and you've already seen people do like fan creations of them, it's very easy to do another Justice League member like Wonder Woman or Flash or whoever you want to pick and have their backs turned and have the the marker on their head. Very easy to do that. People have already done that. You know what I mean? So that's very easy to continue to tease whenever you want. Batman, though, Batman is obviously is a huge leap. You're taking the leap of the game not existing and not being real and not being confirmed and all those words to all of a sudden it is real, right? And it's officially announced. So that's a big jump, and they could be seeing it and say, you know what? Out of all of these game reveals, this is the biggest one, which I think is factually true, and it's also the one that people are expecting the most. So let's just not talk about it. Let's just not show it. You know what I mean? Again, weird strategy, I think, but ultimately one that seemingly is working. I don't know why it's working, right, to some people, but I think it is working. So we'll have to see. Today's Tuesday. Whenever this video goes up, I mean, those are going to be a couple extra days of if we get a teaser or not. I think everybody's kind of looking to Fridays now, right? We have 2 more Fridays until DC Fandom this Friday and the day before it. Do we get another Suicide Squad teaser that day? Do we get nothing? Or do we get the Batman tease? Or do we maybe get an Injustice tease? You know what I mean? I mean, there are definitely some options there. We'll have to see. Or, I mean, they could go off the board and do Monolith too. Imagine if they did this Friday the Monolith game, and then next Friday Injustice 3. Those are 3 games, but then they don't do Batman, and Batman is the surprise for DC Fandom. Could they do something like that? I think, honestly, it is possible, right? But we'll have to see. Fridays are definitely days that we're going to have to keep our eyes open for, okay? So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this game is going to get teased? Do you think this game is going to stay completely silent? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys subscribe to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all of these videos go up. And thank you all so much for watching. Again, make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Podcast Now 15. More videos daily on all things DC Fandom. I hope to see you guys on the next one.